Aloha. Today I wanted to share something I threw together to kind of link in how we create our reality and how the artificial reality gets created for us, and how on a deeper level stuff like the Mandela effect being manipulated and changed within the internet, and how we create our reality, how we observe our reality, how we think about our reality, how we dream about our reality is how we interact with our reality and really create our reality with our consciousness. So if our consciousness gets manipulated to think and feel and activate on a limited version, like a first gear or second gear reality, to only move at a certain velocity through time, then that's in a sense creating your reality and keeping our reality from being created by hoarding information and keeping people in the anti-understanding reality by not only not understanding, but being a part of a system that is designed to hold you back from understanding by having stuff like gravity, the theories upon theories within the university system that get created for people to believe in. So if you believe in the globe theory, if you believe in gravity, if you believe in the theory of relativity, if you believe in the supremacy and the white privilege program, if you believe in all these things, then you're inherently not believing in yourself. You're not connecting to your deepest parts of your creative abilities. You're not connecting to your imagination. You're not connecting to your people, yourself. You're not activating your maximum potentials because you have been bought into a system that says this is your universe, which you are a reflection of. So you are basically like a McDonald's version of your human expression. You're a commercial, fluoridated, limited version of how you can experience this reality. In fact, you're just a slave within this reality because you have to have people who are in control. The only power that you have is to vote for how deep you are enslaved. This program is based upon the fear that gets manipulated all the way back from the generations and generations of fear of people being crucified, lynched, put on the rack, burned at the stake, world wars, just in this hopeless state of being, this will, no power. Our power centers are completely manipulated and covered by food, genetically modified foods, and our connection to spirit and our intuition and observing our reality and our maximum potential is totally fluoridated, from our psyches to our basic physical makeup, and just having like the television be another way to fluoridate our reality. And we actually send our kids to war psychologically when we engage them into the school program, the scholasticism, the medieval system that's still existing today, that institutionalizes everybody to think and feel and act and react a certain way to be caught up in this system. So I call it the Big Hat University system, which is kind of a play off of and I'm gonna get you, sucker. They did it, and they referenced the Big Hat Crew. You need a big hat to get in here. That whole part of the movie, and then George Carlin. I think Richard Pryor mentioned it, but I know George Carlin mentioned the big hat people. It's like, oh, watch out for these people who got these big hats, these big funny hats. It's something about it. Everybody who's in power and control, they gotta have a big ass hat. So there's something to it, and I use it as an example to explain the creators of our universe, the theoretical theorists that just make theories upon theories and then have you paying taxes and sending for these systems $7 billion to NASA and then you send your kids to school to become a professor or try to be an astronaut or a fire department or fireman or whatever it is, whatever this system makes available for you. It's based upon limitation and control, and it's a very obvious system that is within our everyday understandings of ourselves, and backed up by distraction and manipulation, and sitting on foundations of generations and generations of fear programming, psychological control, and will stealing manipulation. So the first part, I call it the anti-understanding enslavement society, to where it's like stuff like gravity, all these theories upon theories are not only keeping you from understanding, but it's working backwards. So if there was a way, like for example, like if there was a way to fly, then like if we could fly, just like think if we could fly, if we could fly, and then I'm seeing gravity as like a wall. Like the first thing I was thinking about when I was like thinking about flying, because we fly in our dreams. That's another thing. When you separate it from your dreams, and then you don't have dreams, that's another way to manipulate limitation and keep people from understanding themselves and growing and accessing and all kinds of stuff. But on a conscious state and in our subconscious state when we're sleeping. But so like an example of anti-understanding would be like if we could actually fly within this plane, then gravity would be seen. I was seeing gravity as like a wall, or like a distraction from the capabilities to fly, because I was realizing in my dreams, my power center, like it was in my stomach. Like it was like the way I flew, the energy came from my solar plexus, the willpower, the strength. And I was thinking like, well, what what is what are the main things that in a thought process keep us from flying? Well, there's gravity, there's the main one was gravity, and I'll leave it to that because it's on the understanding. But there's like the fear keeps you from understanding, and then the anti-understanding is the intellectual theories that keep you from tapping into the deeper layers of your possibilities. And when you have theories like gravity and relativity and so much proofs of theories around you that tell you otherwise, then you won't be able to access that space, and hence you won't be able to access your maximum potentials and capabilities, because somebody with a big hat has told you that doesn't exist. Like your intuition doesn't exist. Your natural connections to spirit doesn't exist. It's all about nuts and bolts. These nuts and bolts, these artificial reality. Put a bunch of fancy stones and metals on a hat, put it on your head, and tell people you are important. It's backed up by fear. The fear enforcement program, the military-industrial complex of generations of war, and telling you it's a hopeless state of being. We'll always be at war. You'll always be fearful of this and that. There will always be an enemy. And when you can't have people scared of an outside enemy, you got to have an inside enemy, which is now you, as you're within a police state. If you think outside of the box, then you are now threat to the system, and you will be taken down by the new military, which is the police system, the military for your streets. You'll be thrown in prison within the prison industrial complex, and which is just profiting off of poverty. So it's a system that eats itself, and there's no way out unless you either go into the military and protect this system, or try to exist outside of the system in the hustle game and hustle mentality, which will either land you in prison, but your foundation is still impoverished. The way this continues to keep going on is to the anti-understanding is by hiding history. And this is when they went into Egypt and knocked all the noses off the Sphinx and the statues that are out there that expressed how powerful people are. The powerful histories and foundations of the black race, the red race, the yellow race, the white race, the harmonics between the medicine wheel, working together and still expressing its own individual cultural expressions to the maximum capability. When you have a privileged supremacist mentality to control an entire collective, then all of those systems have to be shut down and separated. So the intellectualization of dominance, like intellectualized dominance with the supremacy program and the eugenics program of the monkey evolution, and the monkey evolution backs that up, and then they say, oh, well, the smartest people are in charge now, like built to lead, or whatever that is with the privileged society thinks in their head is, this is how they are. But you pretty much just make up theories upon theories about why things are the way they are, and as long as you keep repeating that pattern, people will believe it and teach it to their kids. And if you link it in with the very resources that keep them alive and tell them, look, don't ask any questions. It's just the thing. It's just the way it is. Why? Because we need to put food on the table. And that's where the money comes in. And then the people who think they're involved and getting involved with something is really just choosing your slave master. But they have to have you engaged in this system in order for you to believe it. So that's where voting comes in. Regardless of, whatever you're voting for, you're just voting for a layer of a bag of limitation. However long it takes. It doesn't matter. Either way, the steps will be taken to further enslave, regardless of how you choose to think you're engaging, and choose whatever your so-called master is. It'll still go on the way it is. Corrupt, and hoarding the resources, the basic money as the hoarding basic human resources, keeping people impoverished, keeping people hungry and codependent on a system, while also keeping them in a low vibrating state of being, from the psychological programming to the actual water that you drink. Fluoride is still in the water system today. There is no health benefits of ingesting the amounts of fluoride that we drink in our body, in our water every day, and they tell you it's for your teeth. So why they tell you it's for your teeth? It doesn't even make sense when you say that. They tell you something's for your teeth, but you drink 8 glasses of this every day, so it's really for your stomach. It's really for your body, your brain. If you let go of what you're thinking about what's for your teeth, no, this is for your psyche, your power center. This goes straight into your solar plexus. Just like the genetically modified foods get into your solar plexus and shut down your willpower, your strength, your ability to overturn this whole system by just becoming, first of all, aware of it. You use their genetically modified prescription drugs to cope within this system. False perspectives of Earth reality. So this is the whole globe theory, and putting you on a totally upside down and backwards version of your understanding of nature and yourself and your connections and where you come from, telling you that you came from a blob a blob and a big bang and turned into a dinosaur, and then turned into a Neanderthal, and then turned into a monkey, and then turned into a smart monkey that's going to come up with gravity and relativity and telescopes and the internet and or technology and transhumanism, and that's your evolution. So you go from dinosaurs to monkeys to technological monkeys and robotic monkeys. So if you believe that, then you are totally vested within the Big Hat University system, and it's affecting the way we create our reality, just like gravity keeps people from thinking outside of a box. The way you believe yourself to be keeps you from accessing your potential and accessing your consciousness and creating your entire reality. Like the Mandela effect, these limitations create a Mandela effect of low budget, like low limitation and no access, and because you have no roots, you have no connections, you will be just believing whatever's told to you, whatever's put out there in your face. And if the hive mind, like the Siri, the Google, is your prop, like you just lean on it, it becomes your mind, then you'll start to believe and actually create your reality based upon an artificial reality. And as long as it's monetized, this complicated simplicity is linked into your human resources, your very survival. Like you'll pay into it, you'll want to be, you'll pay for this limitation school because you got to make money, you got to survive and provide for your kids, which is the middleman of money to make you do that. And also, it's like glorifying these theories upon theories to make it like suck you in. So they complicate simplicity and hoard the information and tell you that you are just a simple being, you're a minion, and you need a lot of money to get up into the higher states of lies, basically, if you want to be successful in this system. This is where the celebrities come in and talk about selling your souls and all this stuff. You want to go up further, you have to be willing to lie to people on the deepest layers, and the higher you go, you max out. If you are accessing your will, you won't be able to go far. You won't be able to access this space because they need people who will totally buy into the system and go along with it. These are those amplified and glorified distraction peoples, the Hollywood, the celebrities, the athletes, the people who are totally vested into this system, whether they rationalize it a certain way or they're ignorant of the system itself or whatever it is. They're glorified and put in your face to be as a carrot, like a carrot in front of you, to believe and act a certain way and follow their ways and buy into the system even more. So these agendas are sold through the distractions. So all of these hats are sold to you while you're watching ESPN, SportsCenter, and watching the Super Bowl. Your consciousness is being manipulated to think and feel and act and react a certain way through the halftime show at the Super Bowl because a celebrity or a Hollywood person got up there and told you to do a certain thing, and the athletes acted a certain way. They said, or they did a certain thing, or they didn't do a certain thing. It's all follow the leader, follow the big hat. Instantaneous reinforcement programs like the radio, television, school, and social media are in your face all the time. So early on, newspapers told you how to think and what to talk about when you went to work, what made you smart, the radio came along and everybody in the family sat around the radio and talked about what was going on and listened to people go on the moon supposedly and do that whole thing. These are these programs of reinforcing of limitation and theories. The television came out next to put it from the first they had your ears, now they got your eyes, now they got your body. When they send your kids to school, the scholasticism is the medieval program of dominance and just like institutionalization. It's just old programs being manipulated, and since it's the hopeless state of being, you just got to deal with it. You're just gonna go with it. And now, the latest edition of the instantaneous reinforcement program is a social media based upon the box program in your hand at your beck and call at any moment of the day. Whatever you think, if you're still thinking about stuff, because most people are thinking about what other people are thinking about, and those people are thinking about what was told to them by somebody with a big hat. And then those big hat theories get put on the social media, and then other people just talk about what the big hats were talking about. And then keep repeating that pattern instantaneously through the social media and the technology that's within our system right now. And this sucks you in blindly, zombified, walking into your artificial version of evolution, going into the transhumanism program of being merged with machine and taking computer chips into your body and not listening or even accessing your intuition to understand the other versions of reality and the other possibilities that are out there within your willpower and your culture and your family, your roots. It's totally distracted, totally manipulated, and these are the main ones. So as much as it's helping with people to find information and see stuff, we also have to be very aware of the other side of the manipulation program that's going on. And then all of it is balled up into how you see yourself and how you create yourself in the long run and in the moment. Do you see yourself? Because the privilege mentality it's based upon self-hate. So the people who got the big hats are the ones who are totally proud. They're happy because they got a big hat, but everybody else is stuck in a self-hatred program. And you can either be a king of that program, or you can be a princess. You can never be a queen if you're a woman. You can never be a queen because if you're the queen has the most power on the board. That's why they have the Queen of England out there with the biggest hat, ruling over everything in front of you. And in a patriarchal system, the queen cannot be seen for being even equal to the king, because the king has to maintain his dominance over everything. So the queen is actually playing the king of today, and then the patriarchal system has you as the man and as the woman a lot of the times playing the king. Now they're switching and reversing roles. So as long as you are upside down and backwards in your conscious reality, then you won't be able to affect your reality on any level of mind, body, soul, and your connection to spirit. So this is where like the Mandela effect comes into where your surroundings can be adjusted slightly over time to, on the micro to macro, it'll affect your reality from moment to moment. Social media sells it in and makes it easier for this stuff to happen. And then you activate it by your engagement, your voting of this program and in this system. And this is why they have Managers, only for men can be in charge. The CEOs, people in charge, are only for, in a patriarchal system, everything is about the man. And the anti-woman and anti-queen, anti-power. This is why they can have pimps and players who are in outside of so-called outside of the system, but they just create another version of the big hat system by creating slaves or people that they play in the game. So you either create your kingdom and have your group of slaves around you, or you manipulate your slaves around you to act a certain way and engage a certain way. And this program goes all the way down into the fact that like there's people who or there's countries where prostitution is legal. Like, say, for example, the Dominican Republic, the prostitution is pretty much like legal out there. It's like there's people who go from the United States and Great Britain go to there to take advantage of that space, and then go back home and play like, oh, they're still the privileged people. They're okay because they're better than the savagery. Just no difference in Christopher Columbus coming and calling everybody savages, but they take advantage of that system. They pimp the game and they play the game underhand in the secret versions, and that subconsciously activates the program for us to engage in that game on a smaller scale within our own homes and in our own reality, however way, because when you're in poverty, you have to express your will and your dominance, your power in some kind of way. And when you have only example of how to do that is from the Big Hat crew, the Big Hat people doing it to you, then you got to do it to other people. So it's just like a repeating pattern of generations of dominance and out of balance control. And all these hats, the people, the Pope, the graduates, the pimps, and the fancy people. And you gotta, if you wear one of these hats, you fancy. So all the way up to the queen. But yeah, I just wanted to share that kind of thought stream and kind of put it all together. And yeah, so thanks for joining me. Until next time, peace, love, and harmony.